past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya. And what has happened? In the last part, he met with, talked with, and sparred with Sir Night-Eye. Sir Night-Eye watching Midoriya spar against, well, Gran Torino, All Might's former mentor. Now, along with that being said, Katie also did spar off against him, and Night-Eye did actually extend out an offer to Midoriya. The boy is very impressive. Not only is he mastering One for All, the fact that he was previously quirkless and he's already able to use a majority of the power is insane. And then there's the fact that he needs to go on to master multiple quirks. The fact that he can use one as an arm, it's, well, impressive. However, he did not want to admit it. But it seems like All Might did choose correctly as to who to give his quirk to. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he did go home, being able to actually get up and walk, as he is currently talking with his parents. His mom arguing with him back and forth. Midoriya basically at least trying to convince her to allow him to go with Sir Night-Eye and help him. Her saying that is out of the question, and that he is not going to be able to do that. Him informing his mother that clearly he can if he's up and walking, and that she has no idea what's even going on with him. Her yelling that Midoriya, of course she has no idea what's going on with him. Last year, she discovered that he had a quirk. Then, she discovered recently the other one. And then whenever he almost died and lost his fucking arm, she discovered 2 more. Explaining that she doesn't know how much longer she can take this. And she just hopes Midoriya would have a typical teenage surprise. Midoriya unsure what she means by that. And Hisashi is also confused. He has an idea of where she's going with that, but Midoriya doesn't even know a girl. Does he? Now, Midoriya, he does actually just storm outside of the apartment. And, using Black Whip, he actually does scale the building. Katie actually watching Midoriya do that, as she just decides to give him some space, as she would walk back inside of her apartment. Her brother watching a horror movie, and at least eating some popcorn, asking Katie if that family drama is over. I doubt it's far from over. Did I give this guy a name? Aaron McKenna. That does work. Now, A-R-O-N, Aaron. Now, with that being said, we do have a conversation that goes on between Katie and her brother. Both of them, at least, talking about what's going on, and him asking her if she is nervous. Huh? Why would I be nervous for tomorrow? Well, from what Midoriya has told me about the guys in your class, I wouldn't be surprised. Plus, you guys were kind of, well, talking about their quirks. You got Bakugo. Then, well, what was that one guy's name? You see he had 2 quirks? her telling her brother about Class 1A and the biggest obstacles she might face during the sports festival. Now, with that being said, we actually have Midoriya, who is sitting on the roof of the apartment building, as he is at least trying to master float, or start the process of it. As Midoriya is standing on the side of the building, or on the wall, and he's trying to at least walk forward to just keep his balance, as he does actually try and think light thoughts, turning to his left and stepping outward with his leg. This being where he does try and float in the air, as he does do so, floating a few feet above the gravel for the top of the building, as he does actually go to take another step, finding this all to be quite strange. Now, with that, he does actually go to take another step, and he's actually very, very happy about all of this. However, he does just need to keep his concentration. And not even 1 second later, the door does blow open, as there is Bakugo just standing there, shouting, "Deku!" Midoriya swiftly falling onto the ground, and landing on his ass. Bakugo actually turning to see Midoriya fall, as he's still confused by that, wanting to know when the hell did he manifest that quirk, and that he wants to get some answers, damn it. Bakugo, listen to me, alright? That's not... No, you're done. We're done with this. You manifest a quirk last year. Then there's the entrance exam. And then there's the USJ. Any more surprises? Well, I mean, there are. Alright. Listen to me. I know something's going on. I know something's up. And I know that McKenna knows as well. What? How did he learn? Listen to me, Deku. Midoriya. Bakugo says someone trying to calm down, saying that during the USJ, there was the way he was acting. And it's almost like he knew the villains were going to be there. Does he have ties to the League of Villains? Midoriya saying no, and telling Bakugo that it's a bit more complicated than that. Now, with that, Bakugo actually does sit down with Midoriya and ask him about his injuries in a somewhat way that would sound as if he does care. Well, I went to go see Miss Recovery Girl. Good. Did she get you back up to full health? No. I'm about at 70%. Speaking of 70, how much of your quirk can you use? Huh? During the USJ, how much power did you use? 80%. You weren't even going at 100? No. In fact... Listen, there's something you need to know, but you absolutely must keep it a secret. Yeah. You know how I'm technically still enrolled in UA? Yeah, because your mom wanted to be a bitch. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. But anyways, she doesn't know about one or two of my quirks. Huh? Okay, I have 4 quirks right now, Bakugo. I'm supposed to manifest 3 more. Bakugo just looking there with a blank expression, asking exactly how. Midoriya telling Bakugo that this is the part that he needs to keep secret. Whenever he saved him from the sludge villain last year, All Might gave him his quirk. Bucko found that to be quite strange. However, judging by the way the quirk acted at the USJ and from what he's seen All Might do, it's not too far out of the realm of possibility. Midoriya then explained what he's going to be doing tomorrow, and that Katie will be taking his place at UA for a minute. So what, the overconfident, hot-headed person? Overconfident and hot-headed? Are we sure you're not describing yourself? Deku. Midoriya. I guess we do owe you a lot. So just this once, I'm going to cut you a break. Wow, this is really unlike you, Bakugo. Yeah. I've been trying to work on this. Why? Well, there's a girl at UA. It's a bit more complicated. I'm just also trying to learn from all this. Huh? Yeah. Aizawa Sensei and All Might, they've talked to me. Along with Principal Nezu. Everything I've talked with them about and learned about, it can help me, yes, but I'm trying to get rid of this ego I apparently have. Alright then. But what'd you say about a girl at UA? Not trusting you with that shitty Deku. Alright. These two at least continuing the conversation. As we do cut to the next day, where Izuku Midoriya, he is at Sir Night-Eye's agency. And he actually did have his mother sign the slip before he did leave, telling her that either way he's going to leave with or without her permission. Now, Midoriya then hopped on a train and headed out there, as Inko was still concerned. However, we actually do have Katie, who, as she was leaving with Midoriya, she did see Inko, running over and asking her if she was alright. Her basically at least showing tears in her eyes as she does actually try and grab Katie. And as a concerned mother would, she does at least try and break it all down to her, asking her if she does know about all this. Yes, I do. Jeez. I'm one of the closest people to Midoriya besides you. Oh, yes, that's true. You two have always been childhood friends, and very close. This is all kind of funny. What do you mean, Inko? Well, last year whenever I was told he had a quirk, I thought you guys were telling me something else. Katie asked exactly what was that, before her face does actually turn red, realizing what Inko does mean. Her bringing her hands up and being all embarrassed, talking about how it's not like that. I mean, they just started the relationship, but it's not like... Inko at least somewhat screaming, a bit in excitement, as she actually does grab Katie by one of her hands, saying that she simply must let her at least know about this. How long has it been going on? And at least trying to get some gossip out of Katie, who actually is weirded out by all this. Now, with that being said, Katie does at least break it down to Inko. After the hospital, she was there for Midoriya. And Midoriya does seem to be doing a lot better. So, just let it be known, Izuku's going to be okay. Besides, I don't think he's going to encounter villains out there. I mean, he is working with an agency, so there's a chance. But the thing that the USJ was supposed to kill All Might, and Midoriya took it down. Be assured, Inko, Izuku's stronger than All Might, so that means that he will be the greatest. And I'll be right there beside him to be better than him. Yes, yes. Partners in heroes, and in life. Inko does go on stating. Katie, blushing as she actually does, turn and run away. As Inko does at least somewhat smile and try to laugh a little bit. Her laugh quickly disappearing as she does go back into the apartment. And Hisashi, he's surprised. Hearing that girl, or that person, was Katie, the girl that Midoriya was interested in. He did not know that that person he met the other day was a girl. Midoriya seems to have a weird, well, little front, to say the least. Now, there is actually at UA whenever everyone is lined up. And then there is the speech. Katie is actually up to talk, as All Might did say a few words beforehand, talking about how Miss Katie here scored second highest on the entrance exam, and that their first highest, Izuku Midoriya, only stating his name and not displaying a picture, will sadly not be joining us today, since he is still recovering from his injuries. At least that being what All Might still does know. They're going to say that he is also still going through physical therapy, and that hopefully one day he will join us back at UA High School. And then introducing Katie, as she does walk up, supposed to say a few words, and there she actually is standing there in front of everyone, as she does think for a second to just grab the mic and say something. However, then there is on the intercom, or at least through the speakers, everyone does hear this. Okay. Her then shouting that everyone here better do their damn best, and that they are all going to be pro heroes and stick it to the League of Villains. Who's with me? Her then at least throwing up one of her hands. As a lot of people actually do get fired up from Katie's speech. Her then shouting that they are the next generation of heroes and they will show the villains that pros just get stronger. Now, everyone is fired up, especially Bakugo, and a few other people in Class 1A. Now, as that does happen, we do have the race, where everyone is lined up, and then there is Katie. Okay, so, let's see, what's the best option for anyone to do here? Let's see, close quarters, Bakugo is the worst quirk here. But as soon as we all get out there... Wait. Her watching as Todoroki is rushing through the crowd. He only uses his ice, doesn't he? That's it. That's what he's gonna do. Her deciding to get up there as well. As soon as the race does begin, she actually just turn and slam a backhand into Todoroki, as she does release air pressure in her palm, and hits him and break his nose. As soon as that does actually happen, she throws herself out forwards running. And we actually have Endeavor, who did see that cheeky little tactic, as Todoroki quickly did recover, hitting people behind him as he's pushed forwards, as he does actually just throw up a wall behind him. Endeavor realizing what Todoroki was planning to do. A few people did get through, a bit more than in canon, and Katie is actually just running, as Bakugo quickly does get on her tail. As soon as she actually does see him, she jumps up into the air and does somewhat copy his ability, as she just throws wind pressure out underneath her and sending her flying upwards into the air. As she just keeps going, Bakugo hard on her tail as he actually does try and fire off an AP shot at her. Now, she actually does quickly turn herself around and try to disperse his attack, firing off an air bullet through her finger. And Bakugo just watching, as he's actually able to get in close and send a blast directly at Katie, before trying to actually send a punch at her way. Now, this does not work out well for Bakugo, as Katie retaliates with the same amount of force through one of her hands. And since she already does hit Bakugo with that explosion, she uses her other fist and slams it across his face. As that's 2 hits on Bakugo, the second hit doubling in power, sending Bakugo flying away from her. As it does actually happen, Todoroki's also hot on her tail, and he actually just skied past her on ice, her trying to blast him away. As yeah, that does not work out very well. So she quickly does just keep going with speed. As she's running, Ida does get past her, and she does just think, this isn't good. She needs to find a good tactic, something that can help her win. Now, there is the rope portion. Her actually finding this to be a lot easier. It's just like whenever her and Midoriya would climb on trees in the forest. Her actually making her way across as she does just think, don't look down, don't look down. And she does get through this area somewhat quickly. Whenever Bakugo does actually go flying overhead, she actually does release the rest of the wind pressure she has built up in her body out to jump over the rest of the way. As there is whenever she does land. Bakugo trying to attack Todoroki and go after him. Ida still having trouble in this area. Now, there is whenever she actually does get close. And she does step down with her left leg. And then kaboom! She trips a landmine, it exploding underneath her foot. However, after the blast is dispersed, there is her standing there. Her left pant leg destroyed. As she does just look around the area a bit more. And she has a funny idea. As she does actually grab a few of the landmines and piece them all together. Before she does just run up and throw herself down on top of them. As soon as it does actually happen, she throws her hands backwards and would let out a large amount of force. Now, she lets out the rest of the force she has built up, along with at least 25% of this power. Her being sent flying high into the air and above everyone, as she actually does go flying towards the finish line. Now, Bakugo and Todoroki, yeah, they're still racing. However, she does actually go rolling backwards and land on the ground, going to get up and turn around and run, just as Bakugo and Todoroki were right behind her. And she is actually able to keep up with them, barely being able to just jump outwards and outstretch her hand as it is declared she wins. Now, the match was very close, and then she is awarded the 10 million points. Yeah. This is bad. Not a lot of people do want to be on her team. Except for, let's say, a few people. Uraka does want to be on her team, since she does at least like Katie. There's Kendo, who does actually talk about how she does want to at least fight again with McKenna, and that the two do seem like they would be good friends. Yeah, that does work. And then there is Tokoyami, who does talk about how, out of respect, he can be on her team. And that she actually did get him pumped up for this exam. You know what I mean. Besides, Dark Shadow's been trying to work extra hard. Now, with that being said, the team is Katie, Ochako, Dark Shadow, Tokoyami, and Kendo. May did try and get on their team, but Katie thought this girl was crazy. Now, with that being said, Katie is the horse. Or is the rider, not the horse. And then there is what does happen. Many different people do try and target Katie's team. However, Bakugo being the main aggressor or main person who is trying to attack them, it does eventually turn into a fist fight that does sometimes get airborne. Both of them respectively getting blasted away from each other and back onto their horses. And Tokoyami does actually try and also encounter Bakugo, trying to snag a few of his headbands. As eventually Tokoyami, or Todoroki, does try and capture a headband himself, deciding to try and freeze their team. However, Katie just told everyone to at least try not to panic, as she does actually throw her hands downwards into the ground. Her smashing to the ice as she does actually just punch it again, and again, as the ice does begin to crack at her teammates' feet. All of them smashing through the ice that is, well, now broken. And she actually does launch herself towards Todoroki, talking about how she has a 10 combo, and it's going to be a shame to waste it. Todoroki sending out a blast of ice directly towards her, as people in the crowds are shocked to watch this girl smash with her left hand directly into it, and blast it away. Albeit it was nowhere near his, combat ice whenever he did the giant glacier. It was nowhere near that. However, the amount of force she did output was around 15% of One for All. And this was quite surprising. It almost blasting Todoroki directly off of his riders, or his horse. And he actually did want to go into that theory a bit more. Deku can be All Might's secret love child, yes. But exactly what is McKenna? Her quirk, consecutive release. It doesn't make sense. What is this ability? And does it connect to any pro hero? Now, with that being said, eventually this time does end. I do want to say Katie's team, with her personality, she would either keep the headband and snag a few more from different people's teams, or she would have had their headbands snagged and stolen other people's headbands. So, for the sake that she's not invincible, let's say that her headband did get stolen whenever Bakugo or Todoroki did actually get towards them, and that Tokoyami was able to actually snag a few other people's headbands whenever they did go after different teams, since they were no longer the main focus anymore. Let's say they did at least rack up 576 points. Now, with all that being said, in the next part we will cover the combat portion of the sports festival. And anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.